Hey, everybody. Wow, I didn't realize how bright the lights were. Yes, indeed. All right, I should have worn my sunglasses. Hey, I want to thank all of you for hanging with us. This has been an incredible day, an incredible amount of information. I want to thank all of our presenters, absolutely. I want to thank all of our sponsors for making this happen. We can't do it without you. I want to thank staff, Jen Calvert, Wendy Dobson, Chelsea Stevens, Saida Puerta, Kevin Dobson, and who am I missing? Lois Henderson. We've got a big staff these days. There's 7 people working for IYBA, including me. We're doing an awful lot of stuff. And some of the things that we're doing is building for you. You know, we have a mandate, a mission statement at IYBA. And that mission statement is that we're here to provide cooperation in the yacht sales industry, professionalism in the yacht sales industry, and we do so through education, networking, and the removal of barriers to commerce. Now, the removal of barriers to commerce is a pretty open-ended statement, and it could be any number of different things. You heard me earlier talking about Chapter 326, the Yacht and Shipbrokers Act, and the changes that we're trying to get made through the state legislature to improve our levels of professionalism and enhance consumer protections through the industry. Some of the other things that we're doing as an association, and fortunately, we've really been able to engage well with the other associations in the industry, YABA most especially, is our digital suite of services. And it all starts, the digital suite of services starts with our MLS database. And you know that to be yachtbroker.org. And we just, there we go. So yachtbroker.org is your industry-owned database. If we control our data, we have the opportunity to control our destiny. And what difference is yachtbroker.org to the other products that are out there in the marketplace? Number one, it's owned by you. Number two, it's my favorite price. It's free. You can put your boats into yachtbroker.org, and you can search yachtbroker.org at no cost. If you choose to have a feed to your website, then we will provide a feed to you, and there's a different cost scale for the different ways that you may want to get the feed, but the maximum cost is $499 a month. So it's a very cost-effective, very efficient product. I looked a few minutes ago, Jeff and I were talking about yachtbroker.org, not while another panel was talking, of course, it was in a break, and there were 9,803 boats on yachtbroker.org. And during that panel, I refreshed the screen, there were 9,810 boats on yachtbroker.org. Yesterday, I looked at it, there were 9,777 boats. I finished the conversation with 9,783 boats. We are growing quickly. I think many of you have been contacted by another group that you've been doing business with for a little while recently, and I don't think much of what you've been getting lately has been good news. So what your board of directors has done is chosen to build for you a suite of services that provides you with relief from the addiction that you've been suffering from for the last 20 years. It starts with yachtbroker.org. One of the things that somebody mentioned to me not long ago was, yeah, you know what, I looked at it, but I didn't really think that the presentation was that elegant. I don't think they really looked at it, because one of the things that we do is your standard presentation of a boat. This is one of my listings. Yeah, not really. I don't have any listings anymore. But your standard presentation is like you've been used to seeing, but it's neat, it's orderly, it's functional. Your pictures are sized properly. You can take this as a PDF and send it out to your clients. I remember for many, many years through my career as a yacht broker, I would search for boats in one database, but the presentation was really miserable, and it's still that way. So I would go to a different database so that it had a better PDF presentation, and I would share that with my customer to build enthusiasm with that customer. You don't have to do that anymore because it's all in here. Oh, you don't like this template? We've got customizable templates. We've got a variety of different ones that you can choose to use for your company. It is mobile optimized. So when you're looking at it on your phone or on your iPad or any other product, any mobile product, you get a great presentation. Your information pages, you can't really read all the text in this, but it gives you the sense of how well organized it is and how nicely it comes across. Also your pictures, when you're mobile optimized, it comes across and gives you a beautiful presentation. So that's the foundational element. That's where everything starts, with being able to provide to you a suite of digital services. The other thing that this gives you is, and I didn't need to blow it up so you could read all the particulars of it, but the analytics on here, and there will be more analytics available to you as we further develop the product. One of the things that, that the industry needs to understand is that the people that are guiding the process, the people that are determining what information to make accessible, what information isn't really relevant, what information to filter, is your group of board members who you've elected, people that you've asked to steward our growth and our guidance. We also have committees that are made up of board members and other industry professionals that are members of the different associations. And we don't have some focus group that we go, yeah, thanks a lot, and don't do any of it. We build all this stuff through our own experience. We're all experienced yacht brokers. So our analytics show you things that are important for you to know. The other thing that we needed to do to offer you relief from your addiction was to provide the ability for you to process your documents. So IYBA invested in a document processing system that is a contained ecosystem that allows you to process all the documentation necessary, and I shouldn't say documentation, all the paperwork or documents necessary to transact a deal, from the filling out of the listing agreement to the seller signing the closing statement, all the way through the process. Now, you've been accustomed to using an online platform for many, many years now. It can be a little bit cumbersome. You're going to get it the way they give it to you. You don't have any input on that. This is a very different system. It starts with, I don't know if I got the, do I have the, no, I don't. Oops. When you sign on, it starts with your landing page, which is your dashboard. Your dashboard gives you an overview. It's a business management tool. It gives you an overview of all of the business that you have in place at any given time. It will show you on the top of the page all of the listings that you have deals in process with. So it'll give you the basic information on the boat. It'll give you the gross value of the deal. It'll give you your commission splits. If you are, if you're in through the password protection, it shows you all that. You click on any of that information and it will allow you to drill down all the way to the finest details of that deal. If you're a broker working for a company and you're doing your thing, you're Mike Scalisi, you're doing your thing, you've got 14 boats listed and you've got 3 of them under contract right now. The 3 that you have under contract are on the top of the page. The other 11 boats are on the bottom of the page. And pertinent data regarding all of those other listings is right there. But the deals that you have in process, your hot deals, are up at the top of the page. And you can check the progress of any of those deals at any given time. If your assistant is your assistant and 3 other brokers' assistants, then that person can see you and all 3 of those people. The person that is the office manager can see the 3 assistants and see the 4 brokers underneath each of the 3 assistants. Laura Hogle can see all of the assistants all the way across the company and all of the brokers, and Steve can see everything from the top all the way down. Anyone can see down, no one can see up. So Mike can't see up to the assistant, which means Mike can't see Sean Spicer's listings. Mike can't see anything but Mike's stuff. And no one can look up, but anyone in a management level can look down. And Global Administrator Access gives you the ability to look down. So it's a beautiful business management tool. And if Steve is curious about what's going on with a deal that somebody in the Palm Beach office is doing and he has a question about it, he can click on that deal, click right on down. He can see the contracts. He can see any of the information that he needs to do. The same, it doesn't have to be HMY, it can be any company. So Boat Docs gives you the ability to process all of your documents. There were some shortcomings in systems that we've used in the past as the brokerage community. One of them was the ability to edit the documents that you want to use. So we have built a PDF editor. We actually, in this particular case, have contracted with a third party in England who allows us, through a license and a plugin, to edit PDFs, which, if you've used the systems, not necessarily our system even yet, but if you used other systems, you'll know that the ability to edit PDFs is magic. It changes the whole experience. It allows you to rapidly change things. And what we're doing is we're taking that technology and having our programmers build that into the system for us. Speaking of building things into the system, when we first started to develop this product, we worked with a software developer up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, that does a lot of stuff for Ivy League schools, and we had a pretty lengthy process. Laura Hogel was extremely helpful in helping us lay out the roadmap as to what do we need to do to start, where do we need to keep going, and documents and so on. And one of the things that we decided early in the game that would be an integral component to this and incredibly important was e-signing. We had a presentation earlier done by the generous folks from Michael Moore's office to talk to us about e-signing and what's legal and what we can do. And you can e-sign all of your documents in Boat Docs. When we originally contracted to do it, we talked to 6 different companies that provide e-signing ability. We vetted them down and determined that HelloSign was going to be the company we wanted to use. I talked to them in March. We had a preliminary meeting, and we were on track to use them. July came. We were ready to go into a sandbox environment to start really working hard on this thing, and I had a development call with the people there, along with my software developers, our software developers, and casually in the conversation, he said, yeah, and at $4 a signature. And you ever hear that record needle going across the record when you're in the middle of a conversation? It's like, what are you talking about? It was 43 cents a signature. Yeah, well, we got bought by Dropbox, and our pricing has changed. So it was really a quandary. And speak to the credibility of the board that you have chosen and elected to run this association. I went to the board and I said, we've got an issue. And the board said, you know what, this is important as a service to our members. We need to keep this contained, so let's build our own e-signing platform. So we have our own proprietary e-signing platform within the system. We have programmers that are working for us under contract on a full-time basis. We are developing, improving, and enhancing the system on a day-to-day basis. The reason Garrett is not here, and it occurred to me a little while ago, Garrett in our industry is like Prince, right? You don't even need to know his last name. Everybody knows who Garrett is, right? Garrett is the developer, and Garrett worked with the developers last night and is affecting some uploads today in the system to make it super functional, and he's doing the training videos. We opened Boat Docs to the community to use as of the beginning of November. You're welcome to sign up and use the product now. It also happens to be at my very favorite price. It's free for now. There's a queue of people that are in line that Garrett is onboarding. It doesn't take very long to do so, and in a fantastic manner of doing such, he developed onboarding videos so he doesn't have to sit through each onboarding and train people. And they're really, really well self-guided, easy to consume videos. So now you have the ability to get onto Boat Docs. This is just a screenshot of an imaginary vessel, a 2020 55-foot ocean yacht, and it gives you a sense of what documents you have access to, what you can do with them, your vessel particulars. If you look over on the left-hand side of the page, it talks about the vessel, the seller, the co-seller, the toys and tenders, the trailer, the terms, exclusions. You can go back to the e-documents. You've got a very intuitive manner in which you fill out the program. And it asks you the most important information first. And like you've seen before, you fill out certain areas and it populates the document. Now, one of the things that our system does is when you sign a listing agreement, when you send a listing agreement to a seller and he signs it and returns it to you, it will prompt you to put the boat into yachtbroker.org. So the two systems are integrated in that regard. You become accustomed to going into your industry access side and saying, I want to sell this boat. You've got that ability. Click on the boat. It'll bring you right back into Boat Docs if you're a subscriber. And if you're not, you will be, I'm sure. It brings you back into Boat Docs, and Boat Docs allows you to, it pre-fills some of the purchase and sale agreement and allows you to pull in the rest of the pertinent information. You can also edit that purchase and sale agreement. I'm going to stop for one quick second and just add in, Mike, stand up, raise your hand, wave it, do something. Mike Mullinger is the face that you saw in the Boat Docs commercials earlier. He was wearing his sunglasses, thank God. Am I 15? That's going to take a little while. So Mike is the guy who can answer a whole lot of questions for you because he's been actively engaged in using Boat Docs. He knows it inside out and upside down. It's a very, very nice product. It's much easier to use. At this time, it is free. When the board decides that they want to go ahead and charge for it, one thing you can bet on, IYBA will always be a not-for-profit association. And our mission is to provide services to our members. We have costs of operation. As I told you a little while ago, we spent $1,867,000 this year providing services to the membership. So we will be charging for Boat Docs. As it stands right now, the pricing model is going to look something like $100 per company, including one user, and then $10 per user above that. So, you know, a company with 11 people working there is going to spend $100 plus 10. So it's going to be a $200 a month investment to have full access for everybody in your company. Bigger companies will have obviously a different pricing structure, but it's going to be fair all the way across the board. So Boat Docs gives you a lot of different options. It gives you the ability to use IYBA agreements. It gives you the ability to use YABA agreements. It gives you the ability to use California Yacht Brokers agreements. The Northwest Yacht Brokers Association asked me to attend a call with their board meeting, so Northwest is getting on board with us. Ontario and BC are the other two in North America, and we're working with them as well. We're gaining good adoption throughout the industry. And of course, sending something for an e-signature is done quite simply. It's very intuitive. You click on the buttons. So with these two foundational elements as important pieces to relieve you from the addiction to the services that you've been relying on for several years, we decided that there was more that needed to be done. And because of that, gentlemen, I'm not much of a showman, but welcome to Yachter. Yachter is your public-facing, lead-generating advertising site that is fed from yachtbroker.org, and it is a public site. So you now have the ability through yachtbroker.org to reach the public. As of January 1st, we will flip the switch on Yachter. It has been, yeah, please don't brand me with that thing. Ladies, you can pass them out. What Yachter does is the same as you've been accustomed to having something do for you. It allows you to promote your products to the public, but it does it a little differently. It's done through yachtbroker.org, so that's your portal from the industry side. We've been working with a branding company. That's where we came with the name. We went and bought the URL. We did the designs for it. We've got, look, right now you have a public-facing product in yachtbroker.org, truth be known. But there's no advertising to the public to know about that. There's no effort put forward. It's simply been organic growth. If you go into Google and you type in a boat, and Tim Derrico's got a 55-foot Sea Ray for sale, and he's got all the right information in there, and he's got videos, and he's got articles from magazines, and he's got digital deck plans, he's got all the rich content in there, then it's going to trend higher in Google because of our site, because of the way it's built, and because it's got more unique content. That's the algorithm of Google that makes it go up to the top. So what we haven't done is made a focused attempt or effort to bring forward a public-facing lead-generating site. You now have that in Yachter. It will go live January 1st. How much is it going to be, Jeff? It's free, just like all our other stuff is, for now. And I say that truthfully, and I've been asked many times, so if you guys are going to do a public-facing site, how much is it going to cost us, right? I'm paying huge money right now to get lead generation. How much is it going to cost us to do this? And I honestly don't know, because that determination has not been made. But what I can tell you, I can guarantee you, you can take it to the bank that IYBA will never answer to a board of shareholders or a board of directors that are getting paid or shareholders that are interested in a profit. We have to cover our expenses. Someday I might get an Aston Martin. It might be that little Signet tiny one like this that looks like a smart car. But we're going to build this product out for you with your guidance. It is already there. We're changing the user experience called the UX, the landing page, and that's what we'll flip on January 1st. There has been talk around the industry of people getting together to promote and support this product. I want to caution everyone when they ask me about how are we doing this and that, we have to be very careful. We had a group up here this morning that talked about some really ugly words, and they're called antitrust. And I'm particularly sensitive to that, and I happen to be the guy who's in the office every day and charged with thinking about all this. So with the help of our board, we make sure that we don't get ourselves in trouble. We have hired, or we will be hiring, I believe, we'll make that decision next Thursday, David Cully from Holland & Knight will be reviewing all of our documents and all of our practices to make recommendations to avoid problems going forward. With regard to this product, we're not colluding with anyone else. We're not, working with other associations saying, you got to do this. What we are doing is simply building a set of tools and providing them to the industry. And if you choose to use them, you have the most elegant, most technologically advanced, and the best return on investment tools that you can get your hands on. It's up to you to utilize them. It's up to you to pick up those tools and use them. Mike is very well versed in it. Mike will talk to you about what he's doing. You may want to choose to do some of the things that he's doing. He's very open and happy to share that with you. Steve, you look very good in that hat, by the way. Much better than I do, but of course, I'm killing more glare than you are. But I wore this suit for a reason, dude. So this is who we are, and we are Yachter. Branding you're going to see around boat shows. I expect that at the Miami show you're going to see a Yachter party. This is just what an app might look like. There's your hats, some of the promotional things that you'll see in different places as you go. That looks like we're promoting Yachter in Monaco already, I guess. And it's yachter.com. It will be coming soon. It is for you. So thank you to your board of directors. Bob Saxon is the president. Grant Henderson, Chuck Cashman are the vice presidents. Jeff Stanley is treasurer. Trevor Carroll is secretary. Board members at large are John Burkhart, Andy Miles. Oh my God, why am I doing this, right? So we got Mike Scalisi, we got James Courts. I know I'm forgetting somebody, and I can't believe I'm doing it. Gary Smith, thank you. Your board is who put their heads together and said, we need relief from oppression. And these are the solutions for you. I thank you for staying here to hear about this. I was hoping that we would make more comment about it earlier in the day, and it's my fault that I didn't do that, because while we learned a lot of stuff, we learned a lot of important things today, I would say arguably this is the most important thing that you guys have heard from IYBA in a long time, because it changes the game. And it's not the end. We're not done. There's more stuff for us to do. I've got more ideas. The MLS committee has more ideas. We've purchased, as you heard earlier, Yacht Broker Institute. Yacht Broker Institute gives us a platform for training brokers, and it's all about raising the level of professionalism, enhancing cooperation amongst the yacht sales industry. We do it through education, through networking, and this is one of those removals of barriers to commerce. So that's who we are, and that's what we're doing. Thank you for staying for that. And that reminds me of something. So Rob just pointed to the Yachter hat. Yachter's not going to be relevant to the maritime attorney segment, but boat docs really is. I thought that maybe was where you found that $10 million boat that you're buying from Jeff. Boat docs is not only available to the yacht brokerage community, but it's also accessible to the attorneys' firms. So if you're doing a deal, you're walking down the dock on Saturday afternoon with your customer, and he says, you know what, that's it, let's do it, let's buy that 50-meter Benetti, then you call Rob's office. Rob can go ahead into boat docs, start to create the deal for you with the IYBA PSA and the AMRL addendums that they choose to put on there, and send it off to your customer, and you guys can share that file. So it's not open access, but it's by invitation that two groups can work together on that.
And Paul, is both docs can be automatically updated to reflect changes in the IYBA form?
At all times. At all times. All latest revision of IYBA forms will be in there. I am sure I can speak for YYBA in saying the same thing. We're working on integrated forms. We haven't gotten there yet, but you can always bet that when you go into boat docs, it will be today's most current information. That's part of our mandate.